All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday, March 24th. We got a 6-game NBA slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, we're going to go through each and every one of these games. I'll give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any player props that I like within the game as well. But as always, all of my final plays, so I'm also rolling with myself. If you do want to fade me, those picks will be in the pinned comment. Last night was not a very fadeable night. We'll take the cha-ching. It's not a sweep. We were one assist away from being a sweep, but we go 3-1 last night. That Kelly Olynyk plus money hit was nice, but we had Nick Claxton and Kelly Olynyk's under in rebounds, then Victor Wembanyama's over first quarter rebounds. That cashes, all three of those cash, and then Wendell Carter Jr. finishes with 1 assist, but I'm not crying over 3-1 night. What we can cry over, broken streak comes to an end by a half of a point here. The ride of the day was Clint Capella over 12.5 points, finishes with 12 points. So shout out to Broken for 2 days in a row of plus money hits. Tried to extend the streak here with Clint Capella, and it does not come through. So shout out to Broken for the attempt. I did love those other plays here. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Give me some absolute bangers of plays. I'm jumping on board with one person's pick, giving you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. Also shouting you out over on my Twitter at EvGuyBoston. Make sure to follow me there, and on my Instagram at EvPicks, picks with a Z. All that will be rotating right here on the screen throughout that. But make sure you use those hashtag ride of the days in the comments, because we're looking for a new ride of the day today. But guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here. Detroit getting 12 points here at home as they take on the Pelicans. Total right now sitting at 216. In terms of a lean here, I got to look at the Pelicans. We threw that your way the other night against Miami, and people are like, without Brandon Ingram, blah, blah, blah. This Pelicans team's playing some decent basketball. 8 of their last 10 they've won. 7-2-1 in their last 10 against the spread here. And Detroit is Detroit, right? They haven't covered in 3 straight games, haven't won in, I believe, 5 straight games. So though it's a big number, I just can't trust Detroit as of right now. So that number probably keeps it from being a final play, I'll be completely honest, but there's no way that I can analyze this game and kind of get to Detroit's side. So give me the Pelicans in this spot. I think the Pelicans have a really, really easy time scoring at the rim too. So, if Zion plays enough minutes and that type of thing, maybe he's a player prop to look at. But we do have a player prop that we like in this game. We'll get to in a second. In terms of a total, I think I have to take a peek at the under. This Pelicans defense is playing well. They have one kind of outlier of a game where Orlando dropped 120 on their head. But other than that, like, teams have struggled to get to 110, 107, that type of thing, holding Miami to 88 last game. Like, this is a team that's playing with somewhat of a slow pace, obviously. They're kind of a mediocre to lower pace team altogether this season, but the defense has been really efficient. So I am going to lean towards, I think they've actually had the lowest points per game in their last 3 games overall, probably swayed by that 88, but the defense has been pretty legit. So I'll go ahead and lean towards the under here as well. Now, when it comes to player props, I don't mind Cade Cunningham over 6.5 assists. He's hit that in 8 of his last 10. The 2 that he didn't hit it in, he had 6 assists. So the dude's been hovering right around that number altogether. Last time he played the Pelicans, he had 11 assists. Now, the Pelicans have been actually pretty decent at preventing point guards from dropping dimes against them. But via courtside, pal, if you look at the player type, he's listed as a playmaker 9, which is a guy that passes a lot to guys in scoring opportunities and stuff like that, and assists close to the basket. They actually struggle at that. So I do think that this could be a good spot for him. He's getting plenty of assist chances over his last 10 games, 14 potential assists. So, cut that in half. He should have a bare minimum of 7 today. There's your line. And I do like the odds on this one. Actually, if we jump on over to OddsJam, you guys could see here the odds. We have the sports books that we're on overall here, but you can see a lot of books are already moving this to 7.5. Yes, for slightly plus money, but minus 157 over on Caesars. You can get it for minus 130 on ESPN Bet right now, which is a damn good price for what we're looking at. And by the way, if you guys don't know what OddsJam is, I'll have a link in the pinned comment. Use code GuyBoston, get 25% off, but literally such a cool tool to make sure you're getting the best price out there. I have all sports books selected now, so you can see sports books that are on Cade Cunningham here. 6.5 best odds out there, minus 125. We don't have Bet365 here, but that's the type of thing. You compare all sportsbooks. Make sure you're getting the best price out there. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out OddsJam. Again, you can get 7 days free with that link, and if you want to sign up, 25% off with the link in the pinned comment. It's kind of a no-brainer. Make sure you're getting the best prices and best odds when you are placing your bets, guys. Get on more sportsbooks than just one. It's just a smarter way to do things. Go check out OddsJam. But yeah, Cade Cunningham over 6.5 assists. Probably the thing I like the most in this game. Next up, we have the Clippers taking on the 76ers here. This is a weird one because I do think the Clippers win this game, but there's no way I'm laying 10 points on a Clippers team that really hasn't been trending to the number very well. In their last 10 games here, they are 3-7 against the spread. Head-to-head with Philadelphia, Philly's actually 7-3 against the Clippers in their last 10 here, so I can't really get behind it, but it's tough because the Sixers haven't been the best against the spread team either. They haven't been very good altogether, obviously, since Embiid has gone out, so this is a tough one here, but I'll take the double-digit points here. Give me the Sixers plus the 10 points. I also don't mind taking a peek at the under. This is a Sixers team that struggled to score the ball, and honestly, a Clippers defense that's been pretty good, but the Clippers have had plenty of games in which they haven't been scoring the ball either. What was it, 95 points against Atlanta a few games ago, and then, okay, fine, you give 116 and 120 plus against Portland? Like, I'm not giving you too much credit for that, so I'll lean towards the under. I'll trust where the odds makers put this line, and it is pretty damn low right off the rip, right? So give me the under as well as the Clippers plus the points, the Sixers plus the points. In terms of a player prop, I don't mind Mo Bamba's under 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Right now, you can get that for plus 104 over on, I believe it was Caesars. If you have to pay, I think this thing's going to move because all other sports books are heavily juiced right now. So if you have to pay minus 140, minus 130, like, I don't think it's necessarily worth it, but I don't really see a great matchup in him tonight. The Clippers, the best category that they'll allow to centers is assists. Mo Bamba's only averaging 2 potential assists per game, so that shouldn't hurt us. And then on the season, they're second best at guarding centers when it comes to scoring and a top 10 team in terms of preventing centers from rebounding the rock. So I do think this could be a tough spot for him tonight. He's been playing okay and more minutes, but coming off of a, was it 11-7-3 game? Like, I don't think he does that 2 games in a row. But again, we're doing that for plus money. If this thing, if by the time we're done recording this, you can't get that for plus money anymore, it's probably something I pass on, to be honest. Next up, we have the Heat taking on the Cavs. I do think this will be a good game. But I'm going to lean towards probably what seems to be the public side here. I'm going to take the Heat, who are more healthy than the Cavs, at home, minus the 4.5 points. The total's way down at 203, which is kind of crazy. I slightly want to lean towards the over just because it is such a low number, so I'll do that. I don't think that I have the balls to pull the trigger on it under that low, so by default, I'll lean towards the over. But why I like the Heat is not necessarily how they've been playing as of late. They really haven't been playing all that great, but this Cleveland team, you can make the argument that they've been playing worse, I guess, or at least on the same field, and they're just so injured. Yes, they're probably getting used to it at this point, but like their injury report of Mitchell, Strus, Wade, I think Evan Mobley may come back today. He's a game time decision. I'm not going to put too much weight into that. Like, that's going to take a toll on them at some point, how injured they are. They've been kind of hanging in on the ropes, but this is a Miami Heat team that is just so like gritty and grindy that they could easily, I guess, exploit a injured Cleveland team, and they did that, a few nights ago, right? They won 107-104 as 3-point underdogs. Like, I just don't see any reason why that would happen. It wouldn't happen again, and they're at home now. So, Miami's like on a short list of teams that, there's a short list that I'd rather play if I was a beaten and bruised team, because Miami's going to beat you and bruise you more, So, give me the Heat here at home. In terms of a player prop, I really don't mind. I know I like the Heat tonight, but don't mind taking the Jimmy Butler under. I'm really looking at his under 10.5 points, rebounds plus assists. Over his last 10 games here, averaging 11 potential assists and 9 rebound chances. So he should kind of come to probably 9 or 10 rebounds plus assists here. The matchup for Cleveland, I really don't hate either. I think that they have a decent matchup against him. And in his last 6 games against them, he's only gone over once. And one of those games was a game in which I believe he capitalized on, I want to say, he had 10 potential assists and had 9 assists through that. So it's like, that math doesn't math, you know what I mean? Like, usually that doesn't happen. He capitalized on 90% of his potential assists. That was his one over against Cleveland. It just doesn't seem to compute to me. So I'll take his under as well. But yeah, I could see Miami minus 4.5 being a final play today. But it's probably Jimmy Butler and that are kind of tied in terms of my favorite plays in this game. All right, guys, before we jump into the Milwaukee and the OKC game, allow me to talk to you about Sleeper. You've seen a lot of Sleeper on the channel. That's because I genuinely love the app. If you guys want to try it out, you can get the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander square, a free square. I think he'll score 1 point tonight, just 1 foul shot, right? But you'll also get your first deposit matched if you use the link in the pinned comment. What I love about Sleeper is you compare 2 to, more player props in a slip. The more you win, the more you get paid out. This voice is tough. This voice is tough, but we're battling through it, right? So the more you win, the more you get right, the more you get paid out. Go check out Sleeper, guys. If not for my health, go use that link in the pinned comment. I liked the comment the other day when my voice started to crap out and someone was like, hey, I love that you keep it raw and you're just like, doing your thing, but that was gross. And I'm like, you're right. But guys, go check out Sleeper. Again, that link is in the pinned comment. Do it for my health. I'm struggling out here because you're not signing up for Sleeper. If you're sleeping on Sleeper, time to wake up. Go check it out, guys. Sleeper, that link in the pinned comment. Let's jump back into the slate here. Like I said, we got a good game coming up. Milwaukee taking on OKC. Like I said, this has got to be probably the best game on the slate here. In terms of what I like from a spread perspective, you could definitely convince me of either side. You talk long enough, but I'm actually going to take Milwaukee here at home. Yes, it may be the psycho sort of pick here and maybe the unpopular pick, but this is probably a game in which I would just trust the home team overall. And Milwaukee, as of late, has really dominated this series. They've won 7 of the last 10 here, and they've won 5 straight against OKC. Oklahoma City has been playing really well, but not against the spread. Now, they usually are favorites, and they usually are laying a bunch of points. So that's not really relevant here. But this Milwaukee team, like I said, they're the home team, and I don't mind the way that they've been playing as of late. Like, not as great as OKC in a sense, but OKC hasn't really been battle tested in a while. OKC's last couple of games here, Toronto, Utah, Memphis, you got to go back 10 days, and they played Dallas, and yeah, they beat Dallas by 7 points, didn't cover. So, this is a team that right now is winning games, not covering. I don't know if that's necessarily indicative of what would happen tonight because they're underdogs, but at the same time, like, this is a Milwaukee team that seems to get up for big games here. We just saw them beat the compete with the Celtics, and we saw them beat the Clippers a couple while back, which is kind of a decent win for them. And even Phoenix, who was playing better basketball, they beat by like double digits. So, Milwaukee, easy to knock earlier in the year, but they've earned that second spot in the East back, and you can make the argument they've been playing some better basketball. So we'll keep an eye on the injury report too, because Giannis is listed as a game-time decision, which obviously he's missed some games as of late, but he is listed as probable in this one. I don't think that I end up rolling with the Bucks if Giannis doesn't play, so there's a fair warning there. But in terms of a total, 231 in this spot, I think OKC is going to push the tempo, and I think the Bucks could potentially have a tall task of stopping them. But this Bucks defense has been hit or miss as of late. So if I think the Bucks are going to win, I do think that they kind of lock up defensively. But again, guys, I started this off saying, if you're on the opposite side, you're on the other side, like, it makes complete sense. Like, these are two good teams that you can make the argument for both sides for. So don't let me sway you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, but I'll lean towards the under because I think Milwaukee tries to lock up a little bit. When it comes to player props, I have 2 PRA lines that I like, and I think if this is a close game, one of these guys hits. I'm looking at Josh Giddey and or Lou Dort. They're over PRA. Lou Dort's at 13.5 seems very valuable, and Josh Giddey 20.5. He had 39 PRA last time he played Milwaukee. It was last season, but in terms of his last 10, he's hit this in 8 of his last 10. Lou Dort's also in 8 of his last 10. Not that I think this is going to be a great matchup for them. Like I said, I think Milwaukee comes to play defensively, but I do think that those lines have some value there. So again, that's Lou Dort over 13.5 PRA, and then Josh Giddey over 20.5 PRA. Next, we got another good one. We got Minnesota taking on Golden State. Right now, Minnesota laying 2.5 at home. Total sitting at 219. In terms of a spread pick here, I do think I'm going to lean towards a better team. The team that's playing better, and the home favorite here, Minnesota. But man, oh man, does that smell like a trap line. Like, that looks a little bit too easy. Now, I will say, Anthony Edwards as well as Rudy Gobert on the injury report, and Karl-Anthony Towns is obviously still out. So maybe there are some factors here as to why that line is as low as it is. When they played, I think it was like the Golden State was like 4-point dogs when they played earlier in the year, so I get it in a sense, but yeah, it just seems a little trappy to me. I am going to lean Minnesota, but man, it seems a little bit trappy. Like, it's almost like as if Golden State was red hot right now, they'd come in as near 3-point underdogs, right? Like, but they're not. They're 4-6 in the last 10, 4-6 against the spread, whereas Minnesota is 6-4 and 6-4, both straight up and against the spread. So a little dicey there, but I'll lean towards Minnesota here. In terms of a total 219, when these two teams last played, we had a 116 to 110 game, and then we had a 104 to 101 game. So we have kind of two sides of the coin here. This is in Minnesota. I do think Minnesota at home can kind of step up and play some good defense. So I'll lean towards the under ever so slightly. And then from a player prop perspective, I'm also going to take a peek at an under. Looking at Jonathan Kuminga, under 5.5 rebounds. This is really coming from a standpoint of, well, he's only hit it in 2 of his last 10 games, the over, right? He's hit the under plenty. He has sets up 1 rebound games, 2 rebound games. He's only averaging 8.3 rebound chances per game, and he's hitting 5 straight unders against this Minnesota team, who are the second best team at preventing power forwards from grabbing the rock. So I do think that this could be a good spot. You'll probably end up having to play a little bit of juice by the time you're seeing this. I'm seeing minus 145 over on DraftKings. That's pretty juicy, but it's still more valuable than, say, BetMGM at minus 150, right? So I don't mind his under rebounds if you're willing to pay the juice. All right, before we jump into the last game, go ahead and comment 15 if you made it this far into the video and you watched me struggle through the ad read of of Sleeper because I almost, again, died live on camera. Like one of these times, hopefully we don't have to, but you guys may see it. I'm just going to choke up and croak. Hopefully not. That would not be great. But guys, we're looking at the Lakers taking on the Pacers here right now. 4-point favorites are the Lakers in this spot. The Pacers have been a team that I've kind of like bet against a lot this year, but they're starting to win. They're starting to cover 3 of their last 4 here. The Lakers are winning, but not really covering. I'll take the points as the Pacers. 2 days rest here for both these teams, or 1 day rest. It's 2 days goes their last game. But LeBron, Anthony Davis, obviously still on the injury report like they always are. Yeah, I'll just lean towards the Pacers. I think that, if this game, like it's supposed to be, has a high-paced total at 241, if this is a fast-paced game, I'll take the 4 points of the Pacers because they can make up some ground pretty damn quickly. So give me them on the road here. In terms of a total 241, damn, did I bounce back and forth around this one. In terms of, it has to be a fast-paced game, right? So I'll lean towards the over, but man, that is a high number to go ahead and bet on. And then from a player prop perspective, one that I don't mind, and not that I like the matchup or even the player, but the hit rate has been there. Rui Hachimura over 0.5 assists. He's hitting 9 of his last 10, 14 of his last 20. It's not like the Pacers allow plenty of assists, but if this is going to be a fast-paced game, Hachimura is definitely a guy that doesn't mind running in transition. Seems like he could almost stumble upon 1 assist at one point during this game, right? So though it's not the most sexy pick, it could be one that I could see myself playing and kind of rolling the dice, but I think that it might be a weighted dice in a sense because I do think there's going to be a lot of potential assists for him in this game. But guys, it's going to wrap for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday at the time of watching this. Yeah, nothing to rant about or ramble on about here at the end of the video, so I'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.